It's campaign season and political parties and their presidential candidates have between now and February the 23rd to move around the country to convince Nigerians on why they should get their votes. Good afternoon and welcome to Standpoint. I'm Ibrahim Shita. We want to apologize that we're starting a bit late, but we'll have a very robust discussion as regards the 2023 elections. The People's Democratic Party is actually gearing up to flag off its presidential candidate campaign on Monday. Despite the cracks in the party, the PDP is forging ahead. But for the governing All Progressives Congress and opposition Labour Party, their campaigns are in full swing. The presidential candidates will be seeking to convince 96.3 million voters why they deserve to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari at Aso Rock from May the 29th, 2023. But we'd like to let you know, as you've known and seen in various media organizations on television and radio, that the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addressed Nigerians upon his return from London, where he went for a vacation. Speaking to newsmen, he said Nigerians should expect a very intelligent approach to campaigning in their ability to perform. Now let's discuss this by talking to the spokesman and strategic directorate of City Boy Movement, Dr. Hassan Saddiq, who is joining me now. Thank you so much for joining us on Standpoint. Let me start by saying congratulations to you on the arrival of your the presidential flag bearer, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, because a lot of Nigerians have been saying, where is your candidate? Where has he been? But then before we talk about his arrival, how is your party preparing to hit the ground running, talking about campaign activities?
Thank you for having me. I think I need some little volume.
Dr. Saddiq, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right, great. So I was trying to find out how much your party is doing to hit the ground running in terms of campaigning, because we know that, for instance, the Labour Party has started campaigning, doing rallies and here and there, but then the APC has not exactly officially flagged off its presidential campaign for the 2023 elections. How soon should we be looking forward to seeing your party hit the ground running?
I think if I'm just to buttress little on the party is ever ready, it's well prepared. It is not first who go to the market that matter. It is what are you bringing to the table that matters most. But the APC as party is ready to hit the ground running since the INEC has already lifted ban on campaign. And also, if you are aware that the City Boy movement was on the Fountain Trust that 28th day to show symbolic unity of the party and other groups who are support group for the APC. So we are ready and we are on ground. And soon, all the activities will be unveiled and you'll see how we are going to march into the cities, the states, and all that for the campaign for our presidential candidate.
Right, Dr. Saddiq, let's get down to the brass tacks of this conversation. Currently, we know that Nigeria is actually faced with a lot of insecurity issues. Talk about the economy. Yesterday, we have the president presenting the 2023 appropriation bill to the National Assembly. What would you say your party will be campaigning on?
Okay, thank you. As a security strategic expert, Nigeria as a country is still a marginal nation where there's a lot of challenges, but why the government currently are facing them squarely vis-a-vis the coming government. We also look at it. How do we take our issue vis-a-vis economy, security, and youth. That the party and the incoming government will now look at it. How do we head on one by one and taking care of it? So because as emerging nations, issues are bound to happen. But what matters most, how are you ready and prepared to solve it as it unfolds? But I will tell you categorically that currently the government is doing their best, and we hope that the incoming government will be able to do more, yes, and add value to what already has been achieved. But Nigeria should understand that as a nation, we're emerging nations. There's a lot of challenges. But what matters most, how are we ready to confront this issue, and what ideas are you bringing and knowledge to solve them one by one? So I will tell you that we are very much ready to confront these issues.
It's actually in the public space, a lot of people are talking about the fact that most of the political parties that are gone in for elections 2023 do not have their manifestos already published. But then it's actually standard practice that we have manifestos on different websites. The APC presidential flag bearer and some other candidates have not exactly made known their manifesto. Excuse me. And that's the reason Nigerians are asking, what exactly is it do we have in your manifesto? Why is it taking rather so long to have your party publish its manifesto?
Okay. There's no any, for us as APC, and the presidential candidate has manifesto. But for the purpose that the presidential candidate has not come out and the party to launch it out officially, I will not be able to tell you what is enriched in that document. But except in terms of general aspect you are looking at, because we are waiting for it to be launched officially, then before we can now start looking at it. But what matters most that we need to know, we all know what our current challenges are, and we are going to confront them head on, one by one. So there are a lot of documents that in the next few weeks or whatever, it will be in the public fold, that people can now see it and ask questions about it.
So if you say you really do not exactly have much information, which clearly understood that you may not probably have the clear information about what the manifesto might contain. But I asked earlier that the APC has been in government for at least 7 years. Next year, definitely make it 8 years. So with what Nigerians are saying, other political parties are saying, wait, there is no way we can allow the APC to continue because of what we see on the ground. But you have tried to make excuses that we know that a lot of different issues are happening globally, which definitely Nigeria cannot be isolated. But then, how would you convince Nigerians who will be going to the polls to elect the next president, the next leadership, that will govern the affairs of this nation? What exactly is that thing that you'll be telling Nigerians? Because they're exactly not convinced, like you like to say.
Hello, can you hear me?
Dr. Saddiq, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I think I am not saying that the party does not have, or the presidential candidate does not have the manifestos. I'm only saying that when our presidential candidate has not come out officially to declare it, it is be awkward for me as a person in the city boy to come out publicly and mention them. But globally, we know what are our challenges and how are we going to solve it. So if we are looking at it, I can be able to give you from youth, security, and other areas in terms of defense security and economic security and youth inclusiveness. I can vividly discuss with you that these are things that the party and the candidate are going to be bringing into the table. It is just about a few days ago, the INEC now allowed the parties to go out to the street and canvasses for support, campaigning, and all that. So, but if we are now saying we should look at issues, yes, that is why I said I can tell you categorically that if you look at security, economy, youth inclusiveness, and governance that our government is looking at, how are we bringing it to the table, I can be able to discuss that on you, yes. Because strategy to win elections is quite different from strategy to deliver good governance and accountability to the people of Nigeria. So that does not mean the documents are not there, are there. Yes, but if you are bringing a general issues that we should look at, how are we going to solve it? Vis-a-vis how you may look at it, or globally, I will be able to put it to you that how certain things is going to be done.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at asking, because the youth are actually integral part of what the election is going to look like. Talk about different states, and we know the number of youth that we have, the percentage of youth that we have, in this country at the moment. They will also be partaking in the activities of electing the new leadership of the part of Nigeria. How much has your party, or let me say your campaign organization, done to galvanize the youth to, selling your candidate to them for them to accept?
Okay, thank you very much on this. You see, I've been telling Nigerians and the youth in several fora that if we are looking at youth inclusiveness, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shetima, who is now our candidate. In 1999, when Bola came on board as the governor of Lagos State, there's no any state governor as at that time that has more youth inclusiveness in governance like him. If I may give you, because of the time, what was the age of Fashola as at that time? What is the age of Osinbajo today? And most of them today, Fayemi and all of them, they are stars in their various endeavors today. In fact, to me, I look at them as a product of potential in future, because of, during that time, these are the kind of the youth the man brings into power, which I call a talent hunter. So that is going to be galvanized at the national level. By the time he becomes the president of Federal Republic come 2023. So there's a lot of things for the youth in terms of innovative ideas and for using our human capital development and all our resources to make sure there's a platform for the youth to grow ingenuity in them. I've said this several times. Today, if you look at Lagos, a lot of our soft element power, which what we mean by soft element power, if you look at those who are in the entertainment industry today, the video and the likes of them, when you mention the name of them today, people thought they are Lagosians. But some of them, they are not. But the government of Lagos State, as at that time, has made a provisions and a law reform that give that enable environment for youth to strive. And today, they are star all over the world. This is what I call soft element power. So you could see that if that man, too, become the president, that is going to be allow most of the youth, there will be a program for the youth development in terms of long economic strategy and short economic strategy, that to create foundations for every youth who has genuinity, ideas to bring to the table. On that part, then they will be in prosperity. So there's a lot for the youth. That is why I said, look at what has happened before and where they are today. That is why I've mentioned just about two among them. What is Fashola? Well, what is his age at that time? Then if you look at Osinbajo, what was his age as at that time, when they are part of the Tinubu government as at 1999 till 2007 when he left the power. So these are the things the youth is supposed to look at before you can now say, oh, okay, let me cast my vote in this area. But there's a lot of program that the government coming is going to be for the youth, inclusiveness in governance.
Well, your party has not been inoculated from the internal wranglings that other parties are also facing. For instance, in Akwa Ibom State, the APC will not be fielding governorship candidates for the 2023 elections. The person of Akanimo Odofia, whose name has not been listed alongside others who will be contending or contesting for the governorship position come 2023. How do you think your party is being able to handle some of these internal wranglings? Do you think it may affect your outcome?
I don't think that what the public look at and call it crisis in the party is going to affect us. That is not true. Yeah, but I also agree, in politics, sometimes you disagree to agree. But having that does not mean we are not united or neither we are not strong. We are one family, yes, but there must be an issues need to be addressed. So I don't think what people are looking at it is going to affect our victory in the poll. Not so. I don't believe that. Because there are processes, certain things has to be done. There are people whom I feel aggrieved, but all that is going to be addressed. But that has nothing to do with the affecting our party and all that. The party is united, we are one family, and we are all in support of the victory that we hope to achieve in 2023.
Are you not worried about the opposition political parties, for instance, the Labour Party, the PDP, who are actually putting your party on its toes? Trying to give your party a run for the money, for your money rather. What strategies do you put in place? Because I know some of these things might not be revealed on TV, but what exactly are you doing to withstand the heat coming from other political parties? For instance, we read in the news that Analyses APC was saying that 18 APC governors are working on the ground for the Labour Party candidate, Peter Obi. What does this say to you?
You see, if I may say it clearly, it does not give us any sleepless night an inch for the candidate of other party. They look at it, yes, it is good for democracy for us to have differences. But what matters most, that is why in several fora, I define Asiwaju as an economic leader. A man who went to a place where there's nothing and think out of box and create something out of something. Now, going back to the party you mentioned, I didn't want to call the name of the candidate or who they are. Look at the track record. What have they been able to build so far as at when they were in power and vis-a-vis our own candidate? Then if you agree with me, when you bring this together, they are not in the same pedestal. So I don't see it does not give us because you have this person in this party, you have this person in the party. Yes, that is what democracy is all about. But despite that, I don't see anything. Yeah.
Before I let you go, while your candidate Bola Tinubu was away, different tongues were wagging, saying as regards what exactly he's doing outside of the country and the state of his health and all that. A video surfaced of him exercising, showing that he's hale and hearty. And when he came back to Nigeria just about 2 days ago, he was sporting a jacket and full of life and all that. How do you describe this atmosphere of his arrival, surrounding his arrival? What does this say to your party members who are looking forward to receiving him, and also the potential electorate who will be deciding on who takes what in 2023?
In fact, thank you for you to be even mentioning the life in him and vis-a-vis the exercise. What you had before his arrivals were just mischief of people who try to misinform the public of fake news in the social media. Now that exercise you see, is someone who is not healthy, can you do that kind of an exercise? No. And there's someone who is not healthy during the time when he arrival, and you see the way he dress up and the way he come down from the plane, can you say that person is not strong? So what people are saying is just mischief. To mischief and mislead the people in the social media on other places in the public that this. I don't believe that. You can see that our member, the party, were all happy. You can even see him, how he's shaking the people, how he's hugging them. The person that probably is not strong, can you do that? So I think to me, we should look at issue base. What is this man bringing to the table of Nigeria? By the time then what is the roadmap? What is the next thing? Yes, it is more better for people to believe in what you see in the social media as a fake news and mischiefs. That is the way I look at it.
As as day goes by, we'll definitely continue to see how these issues will be brought to the table to have a clear demystification of what your party would definitely be campaigning about. Thank you very kindly, the spokesman and strategic directorate of City Boy Movement, Dr. Hassan Saddiq. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, the viewers.